Welcome to another video from East Beds Bushcraft, the home of #survival.
Greetings bushcrafters and survivalists, it's Buzz back here in the Storatorium for another noodle review, and this noodle review has got a little bit of an interesting learning curve to it. I do like learning new things. These noodles, okay, are the Han Kitchen, so they're made by the Han Kitchen BUDAE RAMYUN noodles, and it says authentic BUDAE RAMYUN, I assume ramen noodles, inspired by the streets of Itaewon. Now, I looked into this because I read this packet and I thought, okay, this looks interesting, and then I found there was more behind it, because the streets of, if I'm pronouncing it right, Itaewon is a district in Seoul in South Korea, which is a multicultural place where it's got a lot of American influence. And in fact, I didn't notice when I actually picked these noodles up, but it actually has some information on the back, and it says the inspiration behind BUDAE RAMYUN. The multicultural alleyways of Itaewon are famous for its vibrant nightlife, the US Army base, and the BUDAE stew, a culinary fusion that encompasses Korean and American comfort food into a simple dish. We welcome you to enjoy the taste of modern Korea from the convenience of your own home. Okay, now what I can say is when I looked up the word BUDAE, it means army camp, okay, or army base. And basically what it was is, this is like a noodle stew where and again it shows you on the packet, as you can see on the packet there, it shows you spam, it's got beans, it's got chilies, veg, tofu, and in fact let's have a look at the back at the cooking instructions. So the cooking instructions, it says add 550 milliliters water and bring it to the boil. Job done. We're on the way with that. As the water boils, add the noodles with the soup base, the flakes, and cook for 4.5 minutes. Serve immediately. Enjoy. So this is a simple cooking procedure because it's 4.5 minutes in the boiling water. However, it also says cooking tip ! Add sausages, spam, tofu, rice cakes, baked beans, or cheese to create your own authentic BUDAE stew. I wouldn't have thought of putting rice cakes in there, because surely they just immediately go soggy. But that's quite a mix, isn't it? Sausage, spam, tofu, rice cakes, baked beans, and cheese. There you go. So basically, these are enjoy it in your own home Korean army stew. There you go. Right, well, the water is getting there, so let's open this packet. Right, how much do they cost? £1. So a reasonably good sized pack for £1. That's what it looks like. Right, let's open this up. First impressions. Okay, again we have a nice big cake of noodles. Right, we have quite a large bag of flakes, or dried vegetables as it says, and then we have the soup base, BUDAE RAMYUN, authentic BUDAE soup, inspired by the streets of Itaewon. So there you go, and then we've got the usual flakes just off there. Okay, right, let's fast forward until we got this water boiling. Okay, and we're back, and the water is now on the boil. And while we've been gone, I noticed the actual water was taking quite a while to start to get onto a boil, and it was because the gas was almost out. So I've changed the gas cylinder while taking a break. Right, so we need to put noodles in. So that cake of noodles just about fits, that'll soften up. Let's add in the rest of the noodly bits out of the packet. Let's let's tamp down the noodles first, I think. Being careful not to dislodge the water. Ease them down. So as I say, there's a reasonable cake of noodle, again in that circular shape that is obviously designed to go into a traditional noodle bowl. Right, let's watch this double it over boil. There you go. That's the only problem with a brand new gas cylinder in one of these cookers. A bit hard. Yeah, don't have a lot of adjustment on them. A lot of the time I just literally, I'm having a fire and I just stick my Crusader cup in the embers at the side of the fire, or as you've seen on plenty of my other videos, I do favour my little 1960s picnic stove, the meths based one, a Trangia. Right, oh, it's got some mushrooms in it, big bits of mushrooms. Oh, that's impressive. That, my friends, is an impressive haul of flakes. Did we have the soup as well? I think it said that, didn't it? And the noodles, base of flakes. Yeah, there you go. Right, here goes the base. So, is this going to be a powdered base? Yep. Couldn't tell really whether it was a powdered base or whether it was going to be a sort of slightly oily, sort of soupy base. Got good colour to it. Right, let's ease that down into there. Oh, that smells really nice. Right, okay. I've added the ingredients. We need to stick that on a 4.5 minute timer. There we go. Right, let's cook for 4.5 minutes and we'll be back shortly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue. The wise old noodle owl himself has returned once more. Thank you, noodle owl. Right, they've had their 4.5 minutes cooking. Shut the gas off. Bring them off the boil. Now I have to say that while cooking these noodles have filled up the storatorium with such a wonderful smell. And no other noodles that I recall have smelt so nice before eating them. I'm just hoping the flavour is going to be as, you know, if I smelt that across a camp, you know, if I'm off on a night, you know, overnight camp in the canoe, or, you know, I've decided to get the lavoo out, or Dutch Army tent, or just go tarping or whatever, or champing. I'll tell you about champing. If I was smelling that across the campsite, you know, I would be thinking, wow, I wonder what's being cooked. That really smells nice. So anyway, rubbish wise, always got to do the rubbish bit. Just one packet with a couple of internal packets. We don't like to have to carry like empty cans and things, or empty plastic noodle pots. A little bit of rubbish like that. Job done. Right, here we go. So, traditional street food, or should I say, well, it is now, but it would have been army camp food, an army camp stew from South Korea. And look, it's got big chunks of mushrooms in it and other vegetables. What's that? Actually, it's got a bit of meat in there as well. Dehydration packet. Doesn't look like it's more meat. Right, okay, I'm impressed with the look and the smell, and a reasonably easy cooking time. When you think about it, you literally just got to stick it all in the pot, let it go for 4.5 minutes, and I'm going to be able to enjoy some noodle stew. Right, these noodles, yeah, nice. I'll tell you what the smell's like before I eat some. I was cooking them and it was starting to smell like I almost thought bacon initially, but then it was kind of like a herby breakfast sausage. I don't know if you've ever had what I would consider a herby breakfast sausage. You know, very nice. Anyway, let's go. Let's have a taste. Right. Right indeed. Okay. Time for me to munch my way through these and then come back with a verdict. Let's go. We've done it again. The Noodle Valkyrie has visited my taste buds. That was gorgeous. I'm going to unwrap the packet again. These were phenomenal. The smell, as I say, when cooking was great. Eating them, how can I describe them? It's like an English breakfast noodle. It tastes like bacon. It tastes like smoky bacon. It tastes like sausages. It had actual sizable little pieces of meat you could chew. Mushrooms in the shape of a mushroom that tasted like mushroom. These, it's just like, if I had these for breakfast in the morning, added some spam, added whatever. These are gorgeous. These, I tell you, I am impressed. I'm impressed. So this is the Han Kitchen BUDAE, or should I say army camp style stew noodles. They were gorgeous. And right, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out and I'm going to search these out, and I am definitely going to put some more of these in my stores, take them to camp, because they were good. And I'm going to experiment with these noodles. I want to add stuff to them. They had such a great base flavour. This flavour really did kick. You know, I say, I can only describe it. Oh, my cup's nice and clean in there. In fact, I just wish wish my tongue was long enough to look out the bottom of my cup. It's so flavoursome. English breakfast noodles flavour. Wow. Yeah, okay, well, if I could give them 11 out of 10, these ones, I would give them 11 out of 10. I didn't know what to expect. I liked the backstory on it. You know, it could have been just a really plain kind of slightly beefy noodle, but they delivered everything. Wow, 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed that. I don't know if you also noticed we had a lot of steam coming off the noodles today. The temperature is down. The weather this week has been atrocious in the UK. 1 minute it's like monsoon deluge, the next minute the sun comes out and it's like baking hot, and then it's deluge. Today it's just been complete rain. I've actually got a training course, for those that don't know. I'm also a river warden, and got a river warden training course tomorrow, so I'm hoping the weather's going to break tomorrow so I can go and do my training without getting absolutely soaked. But if I did get cold and I did get sort of, you know, feeling down, these noodles will be the ones to pick me up. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Han Kitchen. Couldn't recommend them enough. Please find them, try them, and tell me what you think. You might think that have a completely different opinion, but I actually thought these were stunning. Some of the best noodles I've had, and at a pound. And the quantity of noodles, the cake of noodles in there was brilliant for a lunchtime munch, especially if you added more to it. You could turn it into a much bigger meal. You know, great, absolutely great. Wow. Well, thank you for tuning in. I'm very impressed. I'm feeling very sated and full from my lunchtime meal, and quite chipper actually. It's kind of, they've lifted my spirits on a grey rainy day. So thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the East Beds Bushcraft channel. See you all again soon.